Suella Braverman says that migrant crossings are an invasion, but do you agree with her wording? More than half of Britons back the Home Secretary's choice of words used to describe the arrival of 109,000 illegal migrants via small boats since 2018. That is according to a poll of nearly 2,000 people. In addition, the survey by People Polling found that an overwhelming 52% of the public believe that channel migrants should be considered a security threat, whereas only 20% did not believe they represented a threat at all. So for the Great British Debate this hour, I'm asking, Suella Braverman says that migrant crossings are an invasion. Do you agree with her? Now I'm joined by Nigel Nelson, GB News senior political commentator, and also Stephen Woolfe, director for the Centre of Migration and Economic Policy. OK, I'm going to start with you, Nigel. Nigel?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Well, do you agree with that?
Oh, sorry, I thought I was going to get a question.
Well, that is the question.
I've
done the question. I was just saying Nigel.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think that the language that Suella Braverman's been using is unnecessarily inflammatory. When she talks about invasions, that gives the idea of some kind of military attack, which it's not. When she talks about hurricanes, she suggests that it's all coming our way, which again, it's not. If there's any hurricane in migration, it's going around the world. So the language is really bad. Even illegal migrants is the wrong language. That the official term is unregulated migrants, and that's the term the Home Office uses. This is just one for politicians.
Well, but she's, I mean, look, I don't think there's anything wrong with the word invasion. Let's see, an invasion instance, invading a country, region with an armed force. Yes, that is true. But there are lots of definitions of the word invasion that don't necessarily involve military precision. Stephen, what do you think?
Well, I look across history when you're looking at the impact of immigration to the United Kingdom. When the Romans came here, they invaded us with an army of around 20,000 people. When the Normans invaded England, they came with between 5,000 and 7,000. When the Germans planned to invade the United Kingdom, they looked at around 100,000. So the context there in terms of military is large numbers of people trying to come into the United Kingdom because they wanted to take us over. So in that context, I can't agree with Suella Braverman in suggesting that these people want to take us over. But if you're looking at the numbers, then clearly, when we're looking at over 1 million people since 2000 have claimed asylum in this country, we've had 190,000 in the last few years. These are huge numbers coming over. And your correspondent is wrong to say that the government uses the phrase unregulated. It's irregular migration. Illegal migration is actually the legal definition when somebody comes into the United Kingdom when they don't allow or have a reason to come here legally. That is, as an immigration barrister, I know that. It's only when they claim asylum do they start to become legal. And so we have to look at those definitions very clearly. I think she needs to really be careful about the language, because what it does, it simply hands over to the left and those who disagree with her a weapon to say she's racist and this is damaging. Choose your words wisely if you want to deal with the issue properly.
Yeah, but Stephen, this is a legal definition of invading. It says trespass, encroach, infringe, invade mean to make inroads upon the property, territory or rights of another. Trespass implies an unwarranted or unlawful intrusion. What's wrong with her using that word? I'm just not sure why she should be, you know.
Well, I'm saying it's understandable if you want to look at it in terms of ordinary citizens understanding that language. I get it. But the point is, she's a politician who tries to kind of define where we want to be in this debate. And the debate is very clear. Most people want to see irregular and unlawful migration dealt with swiftly. They want to see asylum applicants only for those who are genuine asylum seekers. And what they need is a Home Secretary and a government that is willing to deal with it. All she does when using language that can be used as inflammatory by those on the left is she hands them a weapon rather than simply saying, let's deal with it properly. And I believe if she does it that way, then she'll have more people on her side and less attacks from the left.
But don't you think that they're actually waiting for something? I mean, look, Nigel, whatever she says, they'll find something because they're just trying to weaponize her words.
Well, I mean, she's weaponising the words, and this is the point, that don't use them as weapons. That if you're trying to sort out a way of stopping the boats, and the one thing that we all agree on is that the boats should be stopped, but then to try and rudge people up to it encourages hatred, I think, and I don't think it's necessarily racist what she is doing, but I do think that it means that the British public have a kind of response to it, that somehow we've got an influx of people we don't want, and I think that to go on what Stephen was saying, almost like, yes, they're trying to take us over or something like that, none of which is true.
But what about Lampedusa then, that Italian island that ended up with more migrants than the actual population themselves, Nigel? I mean, what would you call that then?
Well, I mean, not an invasion. These were people turning up on the shores. And yes, if you haven't got the infrastructure to deal with it, it becomes an impossible problem. But what Suella Braverman is not doing is trying to solve the issue of the small boats, and the best way to do that would be to change the asylum system so you don't encourage people to cross the channel because they have to claim asylum on British soil.
Well, that's what they think. Nigel Nelson, thank you very much. He's GB News senior political commentator, and Stephen Woolfe, director for the Centre for Migration and Economic Prosperity. Thank you for your thoughts. Well, what do you think at home? Was she wrong to use the word invasion? I'm sorry, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm sorry to say, but I'm inclined to agree with her.